It's been over a month of no long videos. I'm back, my friends, with a take on none other than the billionaire CEO of Theranos, which is a modern day Greek tragedy, where ambition and innovation clash with ethical boundaries, leading to an inevitable downfall. With due respect to hardworking and sensitive women, this story of Elizabeth Holmes must never be generalised. So to start with, Elizabeth was the daughter, or is the daughter, of the vice president at Enron. From him, Holmes inherited a legacy marked by ambition and scandal, setting the stage for her own journey in Silicon Valley. Did you know that Holmes was academically a genius? She was a star student at Stanford's Mandarin program in China. Her ability to join the senior chemical engineering class as a freshman was really impressive. With all that, Holmes conceived the idea of Theranos, announcing her presence in the world of patents in medical technology, and what she claimed to have invented was the mini laboratory device called Edison, an appeal to genius that could generate hundreds of tests from a single speck of blood, making testing easier, faster, cheaper. In fact, she positioned her device as a novel tool to predict cancer years in advance. But no matter how genius one is, we always need a catalyst. Being the daughter of a VP at Enron just wasn't enough, and the intrigue deepens with the entry of Ramesh Sunny Balwani into Holmes' life. Holmes and Balwani meet in China, starting off with a new win-win partnership, where Balwani, an experienced entrepreneur, became Holmes' mentor, lover, and key collaborator. His guidance in the intricacies of startups was invaluable in shaping her approach to building Theranos and navigating the competitive landscape of the Silicon Valley. Now, Holmes' ability to enchant and persuade didn't limit her to Balwani alone or her classmates and professors. She adeptly convinced high-profile individuals from various fields, the military and politics, to join the board, weaving a web of credibility and borrowing legitimacy for her company. This strategic move was crucial in attracting talent and investment, as the involvement of such esteemed figures lent an air of undeniable prestige to Theranos. So, leveraging the board's credibility, Holmes succeeded in drawing employees from reputable companies, including Apple, who were captivated by the promise of being on the revolutionary healthcare rocket ship. You know, this statement could be rather controversial. You could be an employee of Apple, or Google, or Meta, but even the best can have their ethics bought, which is why employees Holmes drew from big brands couldn't or wouldn't question her intent. Anyway, beneath this facade, a different reality simmered. Balwani's entry into the company introduced a culture of fear and secrecy, a stark contrast to the visionary image that Holmes projected. This environment was a calculated effort to control the narrative around Theranos' technology and its effectiveness. A move that would have far-reaching consequences. You won't believe how Holmes was so dedicated and meticulous to putting up the image that many started comparing her to Steve Jobs. And it wasn't by chance. She adopted a distinct voice and image, which in many places she accidentally revealed, which made her seem suspect. Besides carrying the deep baritone voice, she also appeared in a black turtleneck top, akin to Steve Jobs, to project gravity and poise and steal from his identity. All of what you've heard so far is supposed to keep Holmes out of jail, but sadly, if she has access to the internet today, she would learn how, despite being in jail, she's been really successful at weaving a web of intrigue. So all that narrative takes a dark turn with the suicide of the esteemed chemist who had initially welcomed Holmes into the bosom of his chemistry lab and became co-patent owner. Then, gradually, Theranos started to precipitate and implode with the courageous actions of two employees who, disillusioned by the company's practices, sought to expose the truth. Their whistleblowing ignited a chain of events that peeled back the layers of deception, challenging the billion-dollar enterprise that Theranos had become. These individuals took significant personal and legal risks in their quest for transparency, battling against a machine that almost seemed invincible. And yes, employees like this are exceptional. And I want you to note that if these two employees had stayed quiet for want of their salary, think of the amount of damage Elizabeth Holmes' epic growth would have wrought on the world. Elizabeth Holmes and Theranos is a story of monumental deception. It's some form of Faustian ambition to dominate with deception. What if she aimed a little bit lower, with more compassion, integrity, and unwarranted greed, and not fake personalities? I think this is a brilliant startup idea. Glasses that can detect micro expressions that would pick out the Elizabeth Holmes syndrome, particularly for astounding founders to help quarantine them from exploiting innocent people. What do you think? Great talking to you again. Have a great day.
We're a private company and we have a very small investor base because we like being a private company and we think there's a lot of advantages in it. We think that we can do things like say, yes, we're not going to use our nanotainer tube for a few quarters because it's the right thing to do in the context of our long-term goals, and that's okay. They make their decision and we have some pretty sophisticated investors, but I may think about this differently. I actually don't think valuation is what matters here. What matters here is the integrity of our data and being able to demonstrate that and continuing to execute on this model that we've created and show that we realize a shift in this space. And if we do that, our valuation will be realized or potentially continue to go up. And if we don't, it'll go down, and that's fine, right? But we're not doing this because of our valuation. I want to be building this company for the rest of my life. This is a private company and we're going to stay that way.